All right, hey guys, and welcome back one more time. We're going to have Mr. Burton on with us again, and this is going to be a very special one because at the end of the day, we've had several. Go back to watch some of our previous videos. We've done several videos here on how to find your sellers, how to export those sellers, how to skip trace it. Because at the end of the day, now you got them. How do you find them? How do you contact them? And then now we're on to the next part here where we're going to dive a little bit deeper into Propstream and showing us how to comp these properties. And because at the end of the day, we got to, now that you know how to talk to them, how do we make offers? Show us how to do that, Bert.
Absolutely. I think this is by far one of the most common questions we get is, hey, someone just called me. What do I do now? Well, let's go into Propstream. So again, if you guys watched our previous video, we talked about, best practices when building a list. We talked about how to save and export your list. We talked about how to skip trace, right? And get phone numbers and emails. So what happens when you do skip trace? You start calling and someone actually picks up the phone. Maybe you send a postcard out to them and they call you back. Right. Well, the first thing you can do is you can go into your My Properties page and you can try to manually find that homeowner, but that's not really going to happen. I'm going to be honest with you. What's probably going to end up happening, I'm going to copy this address real quick, is that you're not even in Propstream. That phone's going to ring or you're going to call someone and you probably logged out on accident and they actually pick up and you're caught off guard. Right. What do? Well, I hate to break it to you. Comping isn't just picking up the phone and just saying, "Oh, hey, Mr. Owner, how does $50,000 sound? Good, great. I'm going to send you the contract. Everything's good." Right? That is not comping.
Not
Right? It's
like
part of it, but it's not comping. So let me give you guys some best practices when you comp. Matter of fact, let's use the word comps to help you with comping. Okay? Probably wondering what the heck? Comps just means comparables. That it does, but I'm going to blow your mind now. So the first thing that you do when someone calls you, you're calling them, is pull up that property. So type in the address, that's the homeowner, the address, and pull up that property. Now, when you pull up a property in Propstream, it's much different than building a marketing list. Instead of seeing results on the right-hand side, what we're going to show you instead is just that property. And then below that property, it's beds, bath, and whatnot, are like the neighbors and the MLS listings around it and the pre-foreclosures around it and the foreclosures around it. Heck, we'll even take the city, in this case, Atlanta, and show you all the listings in Atlanta. I think for some of us, the most important listing is just making sure there's a strong amount of cash buyers in case, we do get it on contract. But if you're ever talking to a homeowner, go into the property details by clicking on details. This is our property details page. This is on every single property in Propstream, whether it's the subject property you click on, or maybe the next door neighbor that you click on. You'll be sent into the property details page, okay? When you're in the property details page, there's a lot of information. You're going to see the address at the top. You're going to see our dashboard, which shows you property characteristics, a summary of the owner, estimated values, how many comps sold in the last year, and their average sale, mortgage and debt summary, last sale, opportunity, which shows you equity, shows you how many other properties they own, how much the monthly rent is. Right? And you can even click on the satellite image and even expand that and see all that stuff, right? Where are we getting all that information? Well, it's from down here. Property details, the cash sale that happened back in 2012, the comps, that's what fuels this area here, the tax information, the linked properties, the mortgage and transaction history. Right? There's a lot of information in Propstream, but where do we begin? Remember I told you to use the word comps? Let's focus on that. When someone's talking to you, when you're speaking to someone, the first letter in comps should be your focus, and that's condition. That's what the C stands for. So when I'm talking to Gregory, Greg is talking to me, I want to make sure Gregory's a good guy and make sure he knows I'm a good guy. But ultimately, I want to know a little bit more about his property. So things are going to be like this. Hey, Greg, thanks for calling me. Appreciate you calling me back. Hey, Greg, so I see your house was built in 2000. It's about 23 years old now. Can you tell me a little bit more about the roof, a little bit more about the windows, about the paint? Is anything peeling? Are there any issues with the piping? Right? Because we're not going to tell you that information because there is no data of physically, things falling apart, but you can use our data with confidence. Greg, I know your house is 23 years old. Tell me about this, about that, about this, about that, right? And as you look into the property characteristics, hey, Greg, tell me about the 2 stories in your house. How's walking up and down a lot, right? This is the letter C in comps. We need to understand the condition, right? Because if the house is falling apart, or maybe he just needs to do the roof. Okay, well, maybe the roof costs $15,000. And maybe the houses here can sell for $300,000, let's say, plus or minus, right? That's already 5% of the market price that we have to remove. And you see how I was able to do that based on property data and asking information. So anytime you're speaking to the homeowner, worry about the first letter in comps, which is C, and that stands for condition. And you can use our data to get information about that. And what does the O stand for in comps? Stands for obstacle. You need to know what obstacles are now in the way. Once you understand the condition of the property, let's say this house is sitting at 80% market value, right? Just needs a little bit of, TLC and we can get it 100%, right? But right now it's at 80%. Cool. The C is taken care of. Now I need to know what obstacles are in the way. Great. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you want to sell, right? Is it because you've owned this property for 11 years? Is it because you might be living in a different address and you're just tired of being a landlord, right? What's the reason? What are the obstacles in the way? Do you have to move in 30 days? Is there a pre-foreclosure or an auction in 45 days? Right? Condition, then your obstacles. Once you understand those two, you know what the next letter is in comps? The letter M, and you know what that stands for? Your mortgage. You now can go in our mortgage and transaction history and see if there's a mortgage you need to know about, because that's going to dictate whether you can do your exit strategy or not, right? Got to find out if there's a mortgage. And in this case, there's no mortgage. You know why? Because Greg bought this property in cash in 2012, free and clear, right? Mortgage, 0. That means I can literally offer him 100%, 80%, 50%, 40%, whatever makes everybody happy. So condition, check. Obstacles, check. Mortgage, check. Now, you know what the letter P stands for? Price. Now we got to know what the property could sell for, right? There's no point going to the price if you don't know what the other 3s are, right? But now that we know the condition, the obstacles, whether there's a mortgage or not, well, I got to know if this is worth my time. So I'm going to go in the comparables section and figure out the price. Now, this is where people get kind of caught up. You're never going to find the right price. When you're comping a property, what you're doing is you're in a court of law right now, technically. And you got to prove to the owner what the values of the houses are in the market, right? Yeah, we know their house is not going to sell at 100%. That's not the point. The point is, Mr. Homeowner, houses that are similar that are renovated are selling for X amount, right? But your house is nowhere near there. It's 30% from there. So we got to work backwards. See how that works? So I'm using data to show the homeowner where he could be, but because of the repairs and the stuff that he's going through, maybe the liens that he owes or debts that he owes, we can't get you that price. But I need to show you where that price is. I got to show you the end goal, right? And so how our users do that, they'll either use our comparables box, they'll look at the public records. These are on and off market transactions. So you might be dealing with a dilapidated property. Public records is going to help you because you could see all the public records, like all the cash sales. So if you're going to make a cash offer, hey, let me see what other cash buyers are willing to offer, right? Not only that, but maybe these are the cash buyers I'm going to market this property to.
Nice.
Right. So you could use public records to find those cash buyers that are buying off market properties and what they're paying for. Or if this house is almost close to being fully renovated, hey, let's look at the MLS properties, because most properties on the MLS are typically rentable, or they've been renovated by a fix and flipper like yourself and put on the market, right? As a matter of fact, some of them have photos that you can click on and you can see from the exterior. Let's see, I didn't have too many photos. Some of them have photos that you can see there's some renovation involved. So now you can see what that condominium could sell for when it's renovated or whatever it may be. Now, some of our users are the fix and flippers. So they'll go to our fixed comp section, show me what someone paid for and then sold it for after, right? Sometimes our users like to see the neighbors' records because your neighbors most likely were built in the same time, same subdivision, same material, top and bottom, right? So you can go to the neighbors section and say, I need to see a neighbor that sold their house in the last year or two. And now you can see all the neighbors within the last 2 years that are same characteristics, 3-bedroom, minimum 2 bathrooms, and pull from that. So again, there's no right or wrong way to do it, but what you're trying to do is inform the homeowner, Mr. Homeowner, I love to get you what I want to get you, but based on what I'm seeing in the market, all the 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, or I'm sorry, all the 3 bedrooms with 2 bathrooms that are your neighbors and sold within the last 2 years with the same characteristics, they're selling within these ranges right over here, right? And now I can zoom in and see where those properties are on the map. So one sold for 600,000, number 2, 365, number 3, 320, number 4, 600. Gee, the 600s might be the ones that are renovated versus the 300s. Those might be just as is properties. So if we just use those examples, right? Just these 4 examples, right? 992, 2, 3, 4, those are our comps. And we can find those in our comparable section, select those and run our comps that way. So again, guys, the whole point is to educate the homeowner as what's selling and what prices, and then try to kind of pair that property with that. And that's the letter P. And to help you guys out a little bit with that, if you're in our comparable section, only available here, but as you apply your filters, like look for all those 3 and 2.5 baths, but once you find your comps, not only can you select the comps that you're interested in, but as you select them, you can go to actions and generate a comp report. So this blue button here, you can click on that and generate a comp report. What that does is it takes the comps that you filtered and it slaps it on a PDF file. Why? Because you're educating that homeowner now. Mr. Gregory, I'd love to give you what you want. I know you've been seeing 600,000 on these websites, but I can't give you that because based on what our conversation is, you have to do the roof, the kitchen, this, and that. So here's what I found. I found 4 houses that sold, some for 600, some for 300. The lowest was 280. The highest was 407. The average in your market's 322. So Mr. Gregory, I don't think we can do that 600 like you've been seeing. That's fully renovated, very unique situation. Your property is within that 280, 407. Now, your subject property is 1,700. I don't think 407 is going to be likely. I think you're more on that average 1,752 area. So based on your data, based on the characteristics of your property, I think your house could sell for $322,000. But that's if we did the roof. That's if we did the kitchen. That's if we had time to sell your house, but you got to get out of here in 30 days. And I don't know if we could do that, right? Condition, obstacle, mortgage, price. Now you know what the letter S stands for? Strategy. Once you know all of those guys, now you can figure out what your strategy is going to be. And hey, if his house could sell for 320, right? He's free and clear, which we saw in the data. He has to move in 60 days, right? He's tired of tenants, so there might be a tenant in that house I need to worry about. My strategy would be, hey, how about I give you an 80% cash offer? We'll keep the tenants there because I like the cash flow. I can get this cash in your pocket within 15 days. You just got to get the paperwork going and we got to go to the title. I barely met the guy, but because of Propstream's data, I'm able to talk to him with confidence. So guys, when you're comping in Propstream, remember comps: condition, obstacle, mortgage, price, strategy. And that's how you're going to comp in Propstream.
Hey, I appreciate that again, Burton. And that's actually so awesome there. And what I definitely wanted to point out too within that is that's real MLS data. And I know a lot of us investors, wholesalers, and whatnot have all been trying to figure out, hey, how do I get access? How do I talk to an agent, or how do I get an agent to give me this access or let me into this? These are real MLS data, things that have sold on the market, and you have that right there at your fingertips.
Absolutely, you do. And I want to thank you for bringing that up. It wasn't easy to get nationwide data like we successfully did. Not easy, but yeah, you guys have it. Does that mean you don't have to be a realtor or no? Those guys are going to help you as well. There are some pocket listings we may not get. Again, realtors can help you with other strategies that you might not have access to. So this could supplement the need of always bugging a realtor for just comps, right? you can take care of that and now approach that realtor for other things that they could be more useful for. But thank you for bringing that up, Terrence. That was a really good bring up.
Nope, absolutely, absolutely. Love the service. Appreciate your help on that again. And thanks again once again for joining us and showing us what some of the awesome tools, the awesome power of that's actually within Propstream, and how to actually harness it and use it in the right direction and get us, because one thing about us, and I like the fact that you brought up the fact of being able to download and show that information to these sellers, because I will say at a time the time right now, it's actually very important, considering with interest rates going through the roof and people seeing what happened to their neighbors a year ago and saying, oh, they sold their house for like $500,000, they got all this. Now, let's get in and let's start having real conversations and showing them real numbers, real data. Now you can download that. Hey, what's your email? Let me send this over to you. Let me share this with you. Let me talk to you. Let me show you exactly what I'm seeing and why yesterday's prices aren't today's prices. And let's talk about your property specifically. So, hey, man, thank you for pointing that out to us. Thanks again for sharing your time with us. It's definitely precious. Hey guys, again, join the link in the bio or click down here below. The link will be available to you for you to come in and sign up and get that 7-day free trial with Propstream. And again, get those 50 free leads. And as you can see here, this is the first and last tool that you will need within your real estate business, whether you're wholesaling, fixing and flipping. This is a great way to get to the source and start talking with sellers literally the same day.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Terrence.
There we go. Thanks a lot.